Hello everybody, Frankie Day here for Frankie Day Models. Okay fellas, I've been pretty busy lately for the past week and a half or so. I haven't done too much more on the Portland steamer other than put the hose lips on there on the starboard side, and also the eye ports, the brass eye ports. So next thing I gotta do on it now is go ahead and put the paneling on the saloon deck walls and get them all done and prepared before you put them on the model. But I'll let it dry a little bit. I've been for the past week and a half now, I've been farting around the new build I haven't introduced lately. I went down to the Smitty's. He's still hobby. I went down to Smitty's down there, and he's still closed. I hope he's okay. I've heard nothing of him. I hope Russ is all right. So the only hobby shop I got left is, which is no choice at all, is Hobbytown USA, and they stock a pretty good sum of plastic, but they mostly into these foamies, these EPA or foam airplanes and everything else that goes with it, and also the hot rods, these cars, these radio controlled cars these kids get nowadays. Some things really haul ass. Some things really move, but do right. What's really nice, they got a little bleacher out there across on the hobby shop. When every Saturday they race out there. I seen them. I could have swear them things go about 60 miles an hour. I mean, them things they're no joke. They really haul ass. Anyway. I went down to Hobbytown USA. We can go in now, but you gotta put a mask on. So I put a mask on and some gloves. And I went down to the styrene department to see what was shaking. So I go, wow. That's one model I have never built. So I went down to the hobby shop and I bought the Tamiya 1/350 scale King George V, the battleship. I believe there's 5 class battleships on the King George class, and I don't know too much about the Royal Navy of what they've had, but they had everything they had was very significant, and like us, it was very old. I bought this kit. I think I paid about $70 for it. Let me have it for $70. It's a real nice kit. I think some of you guys have probably built it before, got one in the stash, maybe thinking about going out and buying one. And it's a very nice kit. Goes together very easy, very fast. So most of the time you like to do in this thing would be the painting. So take your time painting. It requires lots of time. Thus far on this ship, I started about a week and a half ago on it. After set the Portland steamer side, let it dry. I will resume back on that, guys. I'm not gonna shy away from that. It needs to be done, and that's my mission: is get these things I got started already, get them done. So I don't think it'd hurt if I throw in another build here that I got started. So I started this about, like I said, about a week and a half ago. And go together quite nicely. I've got the hull painted, got the decks all painted, I got all the sub-assemblies which they come apart. I didn't glue nothing down. I didn't paint those and prime those yet. And so we'll go and review as I go on the models when you look at it. Anyway, on this battleship here, it's a beautiful looking battleship. I think they came out by the London Treaty Program back 1937, 38? I think 38 or 39. Just exactly the same thing that we had back in 1921, the Washington Treaty, which means every country had so much tonnage of battleships, so much destroyers, so much this and so much that. For an example, it's supposed from Hungary. They say, okay, how many battleships you got? Oh, we got 2. You can do better. then they come over there and says, the United States of America, how many battleships you guys got? We got about 15. You guys got enough. And so we had a couple of battleships we built during the Washington Treaty Program. That was the Tennessee class and also the Colorado class. And they were built during the Washington Treaty Program in 1921. But during the London Treaty Program, I think it was around 38 or 39. I'm quite sure my great friends across the pond would probably stand me corrected on that, or I'd probably say you're about spot on. But anyway, this is a beautiful battleship. She's about 700 feet long. And she's pretty good. She's a lot bigger than what we had. And I believe her primary weaponry is 14-inch. She had 10 14-inch guns. And the rest, I don't know what kind of calibers they had. But it's a beautiful looking battleship. And so I think I'm going to stay in this for a while until I get back on other things, get them finished up too. So I got another video coming up tomorrow. It'll be on the Martin Mars, the A model on my seaplane group build. So far, brother Bill, Panzer Bill's bunker, I think he ordered a kit. He's going to join in, and we have a couple other fellows going to join in too, and I'm very honored for that. And so Bill's waiting for his kit. As soon as he gets his kit, he's going to join in. So my Mars, I got it pretty much. There's a little ways to go on before I get the final painting on it. So I'll post a video tonight tomorrow. We'll discuss that as we review the model before the final painting is done. Okay. We're going to take the camera. We'll swing around and take a look at His Majesty's ship, King George V. One of the 5 classes. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. What I did, I painted the hull light sea gray, and also I painted anti-fouling red oxide for the waterline. And what I did this, guys, I sprayed the hull first black, right along where the boot topping's at. And you take some stuff like this, pinstripe tape. You apply it along the black you just painted. Then it'll free you up for masking for your sea gray and also for your red oxide. Then when both sides have been painted, the hulls are painted, you remove this tape, you got a nice, beautiful boot topping all across there. Okay. The decks are done in oils and pastels. First of all, what I done, using this Tamiya, which is excellent spot-on paint, I use this XF55 deck tan. It's almost like that of ivory color. Deck tan. Now, there's planking on the plastic right here, but it's very subtle. It was simulate the plastic. It's right spot on. It's spot on the scale of 1/350, but it's not defined enough. Really sharpen the clarity of planks, because when they mold it, this kit's old. This kit's probably about 40 years old. And I remember seeing it in the Scale Modeler magazine back in 1982, 83. I think in 1985, I think it was. Around 1985, this kit just came out, and so this kit's old. So when they molded the deck, when Tamiya, when they molded the deck, the simulated planking on it's very subtle. So I elected when I do this, instead of putting a wash on it like I was going to at first, is I went ahead and airbrushed this deck tan on the deck. And let it dry 24 hours. When I got done with that, I sealed the paint off with an acrylic clear to seal the deck. Then what I use is oils. And I worked in the oils along the planking and also as the deck follows. And by doing that, I use a lot of turpentine, so it'll dry real fast. So I know where I'm at. And after that, using a cotton swab, because right here, we all got these. A nice pastel chalk set I got. I got a bunch of these. Take the back of your number 11 blade, not the sharp end, but the back of it, and scrape it onto a bowl, or scrape it on the back of this plastic right here, which I done. Then you take your cotton swab and just dabble in and work it in. When it's all worked in, get a rattle can of dull coat by Testers. If you don't have dull coat by Testers, use a mat. Something like this. You get more coverage out of a rattle can than you do airbrushing it. So after you paint, always use an acrylic on here, matte, on that deck. When it dried, I went ahead and add more oils. There again, I had my pastels. Bring it in. These all come apart. These all come apart. These come apart. These are not even painted yet. I got these all sub-assemblies right here. Each one of these is going to be primed and painted. And once they're primed and painted, then I'm going to go ahead and start working in some pastels on there, bring out some detail work. Oh yeah, incidentally, I opened up the portholes on the kit. The portholes are pretty well pronounced on the kit. And so what I did, open up my portholes. I use this pen vise right here. Don't use a Dremel tool because you melt the plastic and you'll burn a big hideous hole in this hull. And this is a little bit too expensive model to start burning holes through it. So you take a pen vise, run it through, clean it up. Inside the hull, take the sandpaper and sand out those little pips that where the drill went through. Then take your drill and just give it a reaming and it'll come out nice. I did the same thing on the superstructure too. All through here. Drill them out. Clean the insides. This whole thing comes apart, guys. It all comes apart. I just put it there and just get an idea of what this thing's gonna look like. It's a beautiful ship. I like English shot ships. I'm so used to building my own country ships, and now this is a battleship. Beautiful battleship. And so I'm going to try and get this thing finished up and get it going. I'll be on here for a while, so I got to have something to keep me busy instead of jumping around a lot in models and getting nothing done. But like I say, guys, I got this going pretty good. And it's a nice build. It goes together quite well. There's no fit issues I can see. The deck goes on nice and tight. It really does. I was really amazed with that. So to me, they make good precision models. I mean, their models are nice, and they were the Cadillacs of plastic at a time gone by. Now we got China in the view with Trumpeter and the rest of them out there. It puts these people back into the beginning. But like I say, guys, I'm not going to get nothing from China no more. They float a dub with me and the rest of the world. Now there's a photoette set out there for this thing, and I'm thinking about seriously if I get me a photoette set for it. Now, I went down there to the hobby shop. I paid $10 for this. I bought some Wallaces. I mean, not Wallaces, a Walrus, 1/350 scale. I know these things had float planes on it. But the year of this battle wagon here was probably 45, I think it is. The latter part of the year of the war. And I don't know if they were the, I think the catapults were actually prefab. They just stowed. They had catapults on this thing that was stowed. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead. And there's you can fold the wings too. It's optional. You can fold the wings of this thing too. Fold the wings on this thing, and might put one on the deck, or may take a number 11,000 guitar string and drill a small hole to the bottom of it after it's painted, and mount it on my deck like it's flying over the battleship. So I don't know. I'm going to add this to it somehow. I picked those up at the hobby shop too, so I figured maybe that worked pretty good with my King George V. For such a ship, the Prince of Wales, they went out there and did it to the Bismarck. It's truly a nice model, guys. I highly recommend it. They go together very well. As old as it is, I was really astonished that it didn't have a flash. Alrighty, that completes, a big face for a small monitor. Ooh la la. Here he is, fellas, here he is. Okay guys, that completes video 1. I guess it's for my summer build of the Tamiya 1/350 scale King George V battleship. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll put a very smattering amount of rust stains on this thing too. I'm going to go to the Hobby Lobby tomorrow. I'm going to pick up a nice, beautiful, but they're open now because I saw them today. I came up from work. I'm going to buy me a nice little wooden display thing, a display board, and I'm going to varnish it real nice. I'm going to add little ways on there. Instead of using the stand they give you, which is hideous, I'm going to go ahead and mount it like it's on a dock side. And that'll make King George look nice. A splendid, pretty battleship she is. She's a big model. She's about the almost size of Big Mo, maybe about 100 feet smaller. But a lot bigger than what we had in the beginning of the war. And that's all I can think of. Can't think of anything else. Get a little tired, guys. I've been working all day today. So tomorrow I'm going to have a video for the Martin Mars tomorrow for my seaplane group build. And so please stay posted with that, fellas. And right now I'm kind of real upset right now, you know, about all this looting and stuff going on ever since this fella's death. You know, I seen the videos. That was terrible. You know, when that guy, you know, when Floyd died, when George, you know, and they had him down, you know, and he had 4 guys atop that poor fella. And when the guy put a knee right across the cardiac artery across over here, and it cut off his airways. And the guy couldn't hardly breathe, you know. And there's nothing worse than a dying man